always wanted to share this rich history and the beauty of the northeast of Brazil with people here, because we thought it was a story that they would really relate to, that they would find interesting and challenging and exciting.
Bandits and Heroes, Poets and Saints, Popular Art in the Northeast of Brazil is the first exhibition of its sort in North America to show the voices of common people through their prints, their sculptures, their wood carvings, their metalworks, and to give the history, the experience, and the culture of the common people.
After we traveled around Brazil, we saw so much of the real richness and learned more about the history of this part of the country. And the more we saw, the more we were fascinated. We were interested in the history, we were interested in the people's resilience and their imagination, and we saw in so many different areas the places where people expressed themselves in ways that were really new to us and which we thought were so imaginative. So we began thinking about having an exhibition. It's a collection that we have been making for the last 20 years, and all of these artists in the show, we have so much respect for their work. They're people who are artists who come out of a tradition, who come out of certain stories, who come out of traditions of craftsmanship. Sometimes they come out of little artist communities, and they have made images that reflect their history and the things that are important to them. The three parts of the exhibition were something that we thought about from almost the beginning, because they seemed so much a part of the life of people of the Northeast.
A year and a half ago, we received a grant from the NEH, from the National Endowment for the Humanities, to work with the Charles Wright Museum in partnership to develop this project. The project comes out of many years of research and working with artists and scholars and others in Brazil and others in this country as well.
As one of the largest African American museums in the country, I think that we have a responsibility as well as a terrific opportunity to ensure that we are telling a much broader story than just the local story. So we look for opportunities to really make sure that we are including as many diverse Africans from the diaspora as possible and connecting that story back to people in this community and people in this country. So when this opportunity came up to do an exhibition on Brazil, we jumped at it.
I wanted to make sure that when you walk through this exhibit, you can experience what it might be like walking in the Palarino. When I put pen to paper, we just sort of sat around and brainstormed and worked out ideas. And so I start with very simple sketches, floor plans, and from those floor plans I build elevations, which are drawings of what it looks like if you're standing in front of various sections. Then from there it becomes very technical.
The exhibition, I think, is so beautiful, so nice. What have Convida's done, Barbara and Mamie. You know, she showed really what we have account popular art in Brazil, the best thing she can bring to the States.
Why did we have prints and sculptures and different media? There are different voices in the Northeast, as there are in any culture. People work in a medium or a voice that is comfortable for them, and to get the richness and the fullness of the culture, you really have to hear this cacophony of voices, this range of voices working in different media.
Some of the prints are amazing. and some of the dolls, some of the carvings, some of the fabric work. It's all pretty amazing. And as I said, it just has a kind of a raw, elemental power that's on first viewing is just pretty overwhelming. So as I said, I've been to lots of shows and lots of museums, and this strikes me right off as just one of the best.
I think the favorite part is the artwork because it gives us a picture of what's actually going on in Brazil and on the continent and everything. So that's the part I like the most about it, the artwork, because it gives you a visual overview of what's happening.
And for me, I say the depiction of the way the slaves were treated and the fact that there were slaves in Brazil is very interesting. I didn't realize that.
I knew about Brazil in general, of course, Rio. I've been a couple of times. I did not know a lot about the Northeast coast, as is true for many. And I was aware of Salvador and Bahia, but didn't know a lot about them. So a lot of interesting facts. I like the fact that there's a lot of information by the art that one can read and try to understand what it means. And they've done a great job of connecting the history and the art. So a lot more to learn, though I will definitely be back.
This show is a must to come to on your stop in Detroit.
I would highly recommend it. It's a beautiful show and it's really, really informative.
I would also recommend the show. I think it's a unique opportunity to get a chance to visit some of the history of Brazil and to give you a chance to share some of the things that we have learned about it, but also to recognize some of the connections that we have with the American history as well.
I think people will find it fascinating and just it's well worth your time. And the way the exhibit is put together also is fantastic.